Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast with CollectorCarCanada.CA. Mustang aficionados will recognize it. Today we have a 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt. It's got a 6-speed manual transmission and very low miles. It just went over 8,000 kilometers, so we're promoting it as under 8,100 kilometers. So those who've seen our videos know the drill. I'll start it up, we'll pop the hood, listen to the engine, listen to the exhaust, then we'll do a little tour of the car. So this one is lot 233 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And before I continue with the car, just a reminder that we also have the Collector Car Stories podcast available on the channel. And if you're watching this Mustang, you might really like the most current two videos. They both focus on Mustang from the Fox body era of Mustangs. We've got a really great enthusiast on it. And that's what we do with those Collector Car Stories podcasts. We talk to an enthusiast or group of enthusiasts about a car, a road trip, or just some kind of a car story or car show. And if you think you might have something you'd like to share and be part of a future episode, please hit us up. On every page of the website, you'll see a link to contact us, or you can drop us a line by email, admin@CollectorCarCanada.CA. And we always look forward to hearing what people want to talk about. So please do drop us a line if you'd like to be part of a future episode. So back on to this 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt with under 8,100 kilometers. So I'll give it a start. Started right up with no trouble at all. I'll just make sure we've got the car in neutral and the brake is set. I'll pop the hood here and I'll come around, grab the camera and hold it by hand so we can get a good look under hood. Okay, so there's a good look at the Mustang Bullitt in dark Highland green. I'll cruise on in. I've already popped the hood as you saw, and I'll release it. And this car's still got a prop rod. We'll prop it up right there. And away we go. So the one thing that's really noticeable right from the start is this brace, and it's even got a Bullitt emblem right on it. This car, 5-liter V8, the Coyote engine, tuned a little differently from the Mustang GTs of the period, so the S550 Mustang GTs. This is still an S550, but this 5-liter is tuned to produce 480 horsepower. So a bit of a surge from the Mustang GT of the period. I always like these powered by Ford insignia here over the valve cover. Of course, with that brace, they're not quite as visible. So the car really does look almost new. Certainly we have the original owner with us today. He bought the car in 2019. He actually traded a 68 Mustang to buy this one, but I'm showing off those shock towers just because, boy, the car really does look well kept and almost new. Even the air filter, which is where the dust will collect, is looking pretty clean and new. So there's a good look, and there's the hood insulation. Everything looking almost right out of the factory. So sorry for the picture here. Just to release the prop rod, I kind of need two hands. And that's into place. Now I'll walk around the back and we'll get a listen to that exhaust. Okay, we had a bit of a lull in the action because the raindrops have begun here, and I wanted to offer to put the car inside the owner's garage, but he said to continue on. It's not pouring. I'm not going to get wet, but I didn't want his car to get dirty. But we'll make sure he tidies it up before it gets to its new owner. But I'll cut the engine now, and we'll do a good exterior tour. Just while I'm thinking of it, here is the odometer. So under 8,100 kilometers. So again, the 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt, it's finished in dark Highland green. There are two colors for the Bullitt in 2020. The other one is it's a black, I believe it's called Shadow Black, but certainly the dark Highland green is loyal to the roots of the Bullitt, and that's a 68 Mustang from the movie by the same name, Bullitt, starring Steve McQueen. And that's part of the lore of the Bullitt name. So getting close to the wheels and tires, these are a Heritage Edition wheel. There's a stagger on them. So up front, we've got the original Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, 255/40 ZR19, Y-rated, and the black Heritage Edition wheel with the polished outside. And as you can see, we've got Brembo calipers up front, and those are operated with 6 pistons. But this car is a factory car, no modifications to it. There's a look at the VIN, which you can trace to our detailed listing. Again, it's lot 233 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Here's a look at the rear tire on the driver's side and wheel. Heritage Edition wheel. It's also 19 inches on the rear, a little wider to accommodate the 275/40 ZR19. So 275/40 ZR19 tire in the rear, and again, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Original to the car, so these tires are under 8,100 kilometers driven. So I do encourage you to take a look at that detailed listing for lot, lot 233. You'll see the car in much different light. We're not blessed with great light today. As I say, there are a few raindrops falling. The car looks really different in the sun. It almost looks black today, but this is the dark Highland green color of Bullitt. One of many interesting things on the Bullitt is that there are no Mustang badges on the car. You can see a Bullitt emblem right here on the rear deck. And while I'm thinking of it, it's not where we're at with the review of the car, but I'll also show you the grille where we're used to seeing a Mustang emblem, the traditional Mustang emblem of the Mustang horse sort of riding right to left. Not on this car, from the factory. That really differentiates the Bullitts from the other Mustangs and even the Mustang GTs. So dark Highland green in the paint. This does have the sequential illuminating indicator lights. And so we've got a dual exhaust with twin exits on either side. That light above the exhaust is just a reflector. And in the center is where we find the reverse light. So just the one center reverse light. And then here again, another dual exit exhaust. The right side of the dual exhaust. While I'm down on one knee, I'll show you the underside of the car, and it's going to look almost brand new. I really was taken aback by the photos that the seller provided of the underside when the car was recently up on a lift. It looks, I don't want to call it brand new because it's not, but boy, it looks almost brand new. So I think we've staved off the rain. However, the raindrops still appear on the car. I do encourage you to see the photos of the car in the sun on our detailed listing for lot 233. Here's a good look at the passenger side Heritage Edition wheel, 19 inch, and I'm going in close on all the wheels just to see if I can find any marks, and I don't see any. So that's the passenger side rear, also with the red caliper. The calipers are red all the way around, but I'll note that only the fronts are Brembo with the 6-piston operation. Passenger side front wheel. Again, I don't see any marks even on that polished lip. As you might guess, having traded in a 68 Mustang to buy this one. We also might have noticed a GT350 in his garage. This owner's pretty fastidious. He mentioned to me 2 stone chips on the car, one by the grill and one up by the windshield, above the windshield. So I haven't even noticed them yet. If I notice them, I'm going to show them to you. But we do have that verbal description from the owner. So again, there's the front end of the car. Again, the grill is bereft of any Mustang emblem. So that really does give it a bit of a different look from the other Mustangs of the year, the period, the S550 generation. And we've got an integrated fog light package with that indicator below the headlight. And I'm just trying to find this stone chip he's talking about. I don't see it. There's some venting on the hood here. And then I'll try and find the chip that's above the windshield. I don't see it either. So maybe after we're shooting the video, I'll ask him about that. We'll see about getting a photo of both on the detailed listing. But yeah, that's a good look at the exterior of the car. Let's climb inside and we'll get a look at the inside. Another differentiator of the Bullitts from the other Mustangs is that certainly the Highland green ones, you can see the stitch on the ebony seat is in green, a nice accent stitch which matches the exterior of the car. So I'll climb in and I won't start it, but I will turn on, put the key to on so that we can see the instrumentation, because it is electronic LCD. You can see that Mustang. That's our only Mustang emblem, I believe, when the head unit starts up. So here we go with a speedometer good to 300 kilometers an hour, an 8,000 RPM tach with a red line right around 7,400 RPM. And you can see there are a whole host of buttons here on each side of the Bullitt emblem on the steering wheel. And that part of what's going on there is that all this instrumentation is customizable. So in the owner's manual, certainly there are instructions on how you step from display to display. I don't really want to adjust it on the owner here. I'm sure he's got it to what he likes. Although I don't expect he's going to be driving it much before sale, because he did say that the car is going to go with under 8,100 kilometers. So a couple of fixed gauges here in the center stack for vacuum and oil pressure. And then we do a pretty good job of describing this head unit with multifunction. It's part of the Ford. It's a Ford Microsoft Sync system. And we've got a bit of a cue ball shifter for the 6-speed manual. And one thing I like about these S550 Mustangs are these switches as opposed to buttons. They really do harken back to the first generation Mustangs. Climate control with the dual zone. And then these buttons are to operate the head unit as well. So we do have, as I keep saying, we're working with a Bullitt Mustang here today. And it is a special car, specialized from the Mustang GTs. And the Bullitts are all numbered cars. You can see that this one is number 854 from the 2020 run. We've got precise numbers on the detailed listing, but the Bullitt was sold to a number below 500 in Canada, a few thousand when you consider the ones sold in the US. And that's how we end up with Bullitt number 854 today. I think I mentioned this is an early car. The owner purchased it in 2019, before the winter of 1920. So I'll turn off the ignition. And maybe I'll just zoom in on a few other exterior features. Speaker on the lower door, upper door, tweeters up here in the A pillar. But a modern head unit here. Electronics. So we've got the handbrake set there. It's pretty conspicuous as it's up high. Got a set of 2 cup holders there in the console as well, and then a little bit of storage holders and airbags on the side of the seats. We've got a power seat here for the driver, and just reinforcing that green stitch, contrasting with the ebony leather and consistent with the green finish of the car. Those chrome Bullitt door sill plates look pretty neat, and we can see here the date of the manufacture of the car. So it's in 2019, as I was mentioning. And then just a little look at the rear seat. Looks almost unused. Maybe it is unused, but the matching ebony leather with the green contrasting stitch. We'll grab the key so that we can have a look at the trunk as well. I'll show that passenger seat before we climb into the trunk though. So yeah, we've got a power control for the passenger seat as well. And there's that Bullitt emblem again, signifying car number 854. So that trunk is operable from the key fob. A few cleaning effects here that the owner's left. He's got his California car duster. There's a big subwoofer to add to the sound in the car from that Microsoft Sync system. And down below we've got a compressor without the spare in this car. Pretty spotless all around. And maybe it'd be fun if I finished off by showing you those sequential indicator lights. So we'll do a final walk around the car, and then we'll move towards some final thoughts. So there's our sequential indicators. Dark Highland green over the ebony with green stitch interior. 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt, 6-speed manual with 480 horsepower from the factory, under 8,100 kilometers. Lot 233 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. And you can even see that indicator lights up on the mirror. So that's a good look at the car. We'll move to some closing thoughts. So that's a good look at the 2020 Ford Mustang Bullitt. Again, it's on CollectorCarCanada.CA as lot 233. It's blessed with a 6-speed manual transmission, under 8,100 kilometers. So please do have a good look at the detailed listing. Again, lot 233, CollectorCarCanada.CA. We'll wrap up this video. Thank you for watching, and on to the next car.